I'm moving cookie. You want one? I didn't think so. Let's talk about cartoons now. Hello, Wild Review. I'm a Wild Reviewer. Welcome to day 2 of 25 Wild Christmas Review Days, the Christmas cartoon specials. I really need to invest in a better hat. Today, we're going to talk about another Nicktoon that is just as equally as popular as SpongeBob. And for a while, these two shows were riding on the same road together, if you'd like that metaphor. Eventually, this one stopped. However, over time, it has been slowly trying to be revived, and it's trying to catch up with SpongeBob. But ultimately, I don't think that's the case with this show. I think, personally, it should just be left to the grave. Although, their new show that they have, the new revival, while I haven't seen it personally, doesn't seem like it's doing horrible. And that's great to hear. Maybe one day I'll check out an episode or two. From the looks of it, though, it didn't look like it was very interesting, but obviously it was a don't judge a book by its cover sort of situation, because it actually seems like it's got some pretty good potential as the episodes went on. But at this moment, there is no confirmation that that spin-off will be continuing, or reboot, whatever you want to call it. If you couldn't tell, we're talking about the Fairly OddParents today. The Fairly OddParents was a Nickelodeon cartoon about 10-year-old Timmy Turner with fairy godparents who granted his every wish. It was one of the longest-running Nicktoons, right behind SpongeBob. It ran so long that it was squeezed out dry after having so many characters added to the show as they attempted to make it feel fresh, but it ended up making it feel bad. And as a result, we got this thing. I haven't seen that either, and I don't want to. In 2001, the Christmas special Christmas Every Day premiered. It focused on Timmy wishing for Christmas to be every day, as he enjoys the time he spends with his family, not being in school, and getting all the toys he asks for. The wish is granted, and first starts off great. As time goes on, however, Timmy starts to learn the consequences of his wish when the holiday icons arrive and set out to stop Santa and put an end to Christmas from coming ever again. Then, in 2008, we got Merry Wishmas, which saw Timmy wishing for everyone in Dimsdale to get a wish-granting coupon after they all experienced a disappointed Christmas getting gifts they didn't ask for. Pretty soon, this catches on and ends up replacing Christmas, with everyone now calling the new holiday Wishmas. Even Jorgen likes the idea. This soon causes Santa to give up and moves in with the Turners, officially retiring from Christmas. Timmy now has to get Santa's hopes back up and try to revert Christmas back to what it once was. I talked about, or at least I attempted to talk about, what Christmas episodes were a staple for the network around the holidays, and I definitely think Christmas Every Day is one of those staples. And it fits the Fairly OddParents format. What's even a little more surprising is that this was one of the first Fairly OddParent episodes. It's a season 1 episode. In fact, it's the final season 1 episode. There were only 7 episodes during that season. So really interesting how one of the first actual Fairly OddParent stories we get instantly became a holiday classic. Now, I mentioned holiday icons. If you've seen the episode, you probably know what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, I'm referring to the other holiday mascots. So like the Easter Bunny, Cupid. In fact, I think it was Cupid's first appearance. We had Baby New Year and the April Fools. When dealing with Fairly OddParents, at least with the early days, they really had to use their minds to figure out how they were going to get themselves out of a situation if things got bad. So in this case, Timmy wished for Christmas to be every day. Okay, well, it's not going great. Let's just undo the wish. We can't. Why not? Those were questions that were taken care of very well during the original run of Fairly OddParents. And I have to say the original run, because up until season 5, that's where a lot of people consider it to be the golden era of Fairly OddParents, or at least what a lot of people arguably agree is the best version of the Fairly OddParents. Much like with SpongeBob, everything before the movie, that is what people look at when they think of SpongeBob. So season 1 through 5 for the Fairly OddParents, that's what people look at when they think of the show. Some people, like myself, include Poof in that little era as well. I personally didn't think Poof was a horrible character. I actually did a whole series review of the Fairly OddParents when I first started the Wild review. It's one of the first episodes that I did of the series. I think it was like the 7th episode, but it was an early episode. And in my opinion, I never thought Poof was a bad addition to the show. And the same thing goes with Anti-Poof, who's essentially Foop. I thought that made sense. It really wasn't until we started introducing other characters like Sparky and then Chloe. Those were not great ideas. But in those early days, even when Poof was around, or at least the early days when Poof was around, the people behind the show really had to use their imagination and figure out how they were going to get themselves out of a situation. And what they portray in the Christmas episode makes a lot of sense, at least in this universe. Oddly enough, I really like the idea that in this universe, in the Fairly Odd universe, there is a Santa Claus who is essentially just an ordinary person, and he relies on the fairies' magic to do what he does on Christmas Eve. I like that depiction. Now, obviously, that is contradicted once we get to Wishmas, kind of, but especially once we get to the Fairly Odd Christmas movie. But I like this concept. I liked the fact that there are other humans that know fairies exist and actually use their magic along with them. Actually, they don't completely contradict it in Wishmas, because that's one of the motives as to why Jorgen really likes the idea of Wishmas, so this way they don't have to keep giving Kris Kringle their magic. The Christmas Everyday trope has been done a number of times. I don't know exactly how many times it's been done. I know we have this Fairly OddParent episode. They did it in Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas. Elmo had to save Christmas because that happened. There was even a Disney Channel movie that told that story, so I'm sure there's multiple other stories that I haven't seen personally that tackled the Christmas Everyday trope. I think it's an interesting idea. I wish something different was done with it. I know the story has to say the same, but I don't know, with each iteration of this story that I've seen, which in this case is Fairly OddParents, Elmo, and Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, I feel like it was the exact same thing, where they make the wish, it's great, but over time they see it's not great, and it's the same outcome where they have to fix it. Now, to contradict myself on that, there are some differences with those three versions that I've seen that I do really like. Their resolution to how they fix the problem are all different from each other. What I think I especially like is their different ways of tackling the fact that Christmas is every day. The Fairly OddParents, everybody acknowledged that December 25th just kept happening day after day. In Mickey's Once Upon a Christmas, it was a Donald Duck story with Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and the day just kept coming over and over again, but they were the only ones that really acknowledged that Christmas was every day. Donald had no idea he was reliving the same day over and over again. Elmo's the one that Sesame Street did was actually kind of interesting because, yes, Christmas happened every day, but the seasons kept changing and the days kept changing also. From what I remember, I know they celebrated Christmas in spring and summer and fall, although I don't think we got to see fall on screen. But the calendar just kept going. Like, I'm pretty sure the months kept happening, and it just so happened to be Christmas on that day. So I guess the date could have been May 28th and the Christmas. You know, I even think that some holidays overlapped each other. I think they celebrated Christmas and Independence Day on the same day. Every day was just Christmas for them, which was really interesting. And also, to just make another comment on that, when I saw Elmo Saves Christmas, I thought it was really interesting to see these characters on Sesame Street who were very happy and positive all the time, all just starting to lose their mind. Like, it was just beyond chaos, and I enjoyed that. But we're not talking about Elmo, we're talking about fairies. The Fairly OddParents is concept of Christmas Every Day I really liked. I thought it's a very easy story to do when you have fairy godparents and making a wish. And honestly, if Timmy never made a wish throughout this entire series for it to be Christmas Every Day, that honestly would have felt a little weird. I think my only one, not complaint, but just thing that I noticed, and I know for a fact everybody else noticed it also, because everyone I talked to about this episode, they all agree with me on this. At the very end, every child in the world shows up to the North Pole, and Timmy's godparents are just right there. And everybody's okay with it. Like, there's no end of the world scenario where Timmy loses his fairies. Like, I guess it's okay in this scenario. Like, it's alright that we're acknowledging Timmy's fairies. I love the episode. I think it's really great. I do watch it every year along with SpongeBob's Christmas Who. In fact, I watch this along with a bunch of different Nicktoon Christmas specials. The majority of the ones that I'm going to be talking about, I tend to watch every year because they have a soft spot in my heart here. I would definitely recommend checking it out if you've never seen it. And to go back to what I said earlier, I definitely think when it comes to the holidays on Nickelodeon, this is a staple episode and a must-watch because you'll definitely enjoy it. And the song's pretty catchy also. Now, as for Wishmas, I don't hate it. I like it, but I think I like it in the same sense that I like It's a SpongeBob Christmas. Because I saw Christmas Who first and thought it was great. When I saw It's a SpongeBob Christmas, I didn't hate it, I did really enjoy it, but it's not any better than Christmas Who. And the same thing goes for Merry Wishmas. I thought it was a great follow-up Christmas special, but if I had to compare the two, I would watch Christmas Every Day in a heartbeat. And I'd consider Merry Wishmas, but I like the first one better, obviously. But that does not mean Merry Wishmas is not a great Christmas special. Again, that era of Fairly OddParents when they introduced Poof, I know that could be either a hit or miss for some people. I personally like the episode. It's not as memorable, but there are things that I do remember about that episode that don't bother me. The song in that one is also very catchy. The concept is also really interesting, just having a coupon that allows you to wish whatever you want for Christmas. I think the only thing I can't get behind is the ending, which, spoiler if you haven't seen it and you want to, I'll give you a few seconds. Okay. In the end, it reveals to all be something Santa put together so he can have a little fun. I feel like that's also a common trope in some Christmas stories. This isn't the only time that I've seen this. There have been a few Christmas episodes or films that have just been a result of Santa just wanting to have some fun. And I don't know if I like that, him manipulating other people. It doesn't seem very holly jolly. I think my favorite part about the episode is when Santa does move in with the Turners and Timmy's excuse is, oh, he won a contest and now Santa lives with him. And at first it's fine, but they're driving the Turners mad. Timmy's mom just starts freaking out. She's like, I don't want to have cookies every day. This sucks. There's a subplot with Timmy's dad also. He becomes Nog Man. I really like how they did keep the continuity with Timmy's dad and his obsession with eggnog, which was heavily used in Christmas Every Day. So I love the fact that they did carry that over to Merry Wishmas. It's a big compliment to the Fairly OddParents, being that continuity in them, it goes just like... It's good to see that they carried that over. And I do like how Jorgen has a little more involvement with this episode, and he is essentially, I guess, part of the problem. Like, he really enjoys Wishmas. He essentially becomes the icon of the holiday and has Cosmo and Wanda as his helpers. And everybody knows in Fairly OddParents, nobody goes up against Jorgen. Nobody. I should mention that things do get a little out of hand at the beginning of the episode where Vicky wishes that there were, I think, 1 billion coupons. Because there weren't any limits to what you could wish for with those coupons, and that's how everybody gets a coupon, and that's where the big wand overloads. That sort of starts the problem and what brings Jorgen into the story as a whole. But I liked Merry Wishmas. I don't think it's a bad Christmas special. Again, I wouldn't watch it over Christmas every day, but if I was forced to watch Merry Wishmas, I wouldn't be bothered by it. And that's that. That's the Fairly Odd Parent Christmas episodes. There were only 2. Thankfully, they didn't do any more after Merry Wishmas. They did do the Christmas movie, but I did talk about the Christmas movie before. It was a very early Christmas special of mine. I also looked back at it just last year in the spin-off series I did for the Wild Review, Rewild, and that was not a fun thing to sit through again. I'm not talking about it a third time. I'm only talking about episodes. That was a movie, and I don't want to talk about it or think about it ever again. I would not watch that ever. And come to think of it, I think that Christmas movie was the final Fairly Odd Parent Christmas thing ever. Because I don't think Fairly Odder did a Christmas special. I don't think it was on long enough to do a Christmas special. And as of this recording, New Wish just ended, and it was on for a couple of months this year, so obviously it didn't make it to Christmas. There's no status if they're getting a season 2 yet. If there's an update, I'll put it somewhere here, but that's it for Fairly Odd Parent Christmas stuff. We only got 3 things, and I've seen them all, and I only like 2 of them. I've made that very clear now. And that's that. That's day 2 done. Do you like A Fairly Odd Christmas? Do I ask questions? Do I ask you if you like these things, about your thoughts? Well, if you do, if you like them, let me know your thoughts down below. I'd love to hear what you think. And that goes for any of them. That goes for any of these days. If I don't say it in every episode, you can let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Also like the video, if you want to. I'm not telling you, I just told you to do that. That's it for day 2. We've done 2 cartoons. Man, do we have a bunch more. We gotta do this all the way until Santa comes. We're gonna keep the Christmas train rolling. We're gonna go into tomorrow, where we're going to touch upon the final longest running Nicktoon to date. They also had a reboot just recently. I think the reboot got canceled. I don't think I need to hype up what this show is or even hint at what the next show is. Come back tomorrow. We're going to talk about babies at Christmas. That is your hint. You will probably know what I will be talking about just based off that sentence. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you there. Thanks for watching The Wild Review on The Wild Review, and you just saw me review a thing.